This is Entertainment Weekly's coverage of Comic-Con 2017. I am Kyle Anderson, now joined by the star, writer, showrunner, probably gaffer, catering. He's a man of many hats. It's James Van Der Beek. How are you, sir?
I'm good. How you doing?
I'm good, man. The show is What Would Diplo Do?
Yes.
Which I feel like is a question that a lot of us have asked.
And if you haven't asked it, you should.
You're going to start, certainly.
Yes, exactly.
It'll be August 3rd on Viceland.
Mm-hmm.
So let me ask you this, because you did the Day in the Life of Diplo short not too long ago to promote the Mad Decent Tour. Is that where the relationship begins, or have you and Diplo been long partners?
No, I had a number of years ago, I had flagged Diplo as kind of a genius. I heard him talking about music, and I was like, wow, this guy's really onto something. And then, had never met him. Brandon Dermer, who directed the series, had been asked by Diplo's management to come up with a commercial for the Mad Decent Block Party. It was his idea to have me play Diplo in like a Dollar Shave Club type vibe.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so that's how that happened. Nobody had designs on it becoming anything more than just a fun little commercial to promote the tour.
Sure.
And then Viceland came to us and said, we think this is a series.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
And you were like, all right, well, I gotta write this thing.
Well,
did you take hold immediately?
At first I said, guys, it's not a series. It's really cute, but this is a one-off. I had so much fun working with you, but this is not a series. I have something much more prestigious that I'm going to go. And then I thought about it. I was like, wait a minute, this is a series. This is musical genius sucks at life. we can tell parables about life through the eyes of a clown. And I came back and said, all right, I think I know how to do it. I played a little bit in this meta space.
Yeah.
And I think I can write it. I think I can run it. And let's go try it. So Brandon and I pitched Spike Jonze at Vice.
Right.
And walked out with a green light. And then we went out with this young, really hungry, talented crew. And we just stole footage everywhere we could.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's kind of amazing. So is the sort of general tone of the show going to be similar to that Mad Decent ad that we saw, or is it a different kind of thing?
Yeah, it's it's a little more philosophical. In the writer's room, every script began with a long, deep conversation about some truth in life, and then we would layer just ridiculousness on top of it.
Sure.
It's
a good way to construct this thing.
Yeah, just start with something good and then load it with stupidity.
Yeah.
And then so yeah, the tone, it is outrageous. Every episode it's an experiment. It's an experiment in storytelling. It's an experiment in like, hey, does this work? Does this tone work? Every episode's a little bit different swing. And then some of it, we ground in weird, unexpected ways.
Really?
Yeah. It's I don't think you're ever really gonna know what you're gonna get episode.
So because I was gonna ask, so there's no real typical episode of the show. There's
no,
not really a formula.
It was kind of Viceland doesn't have any scripted content right now to pair us with, so the playing field was wide open. So we just thought, let's try a bunch of things.
Just go for it.
Just talk about it, and if it seems cool, and if we feel like we haven't seen it before, let's just go that direction. So the first episode, Diplo gets into Twitter beef with Calvin Harris.
Finally.
Which is based on an actual Twitter beef Diplo had with somebody else, almost word for word. And then we were thinking like, okay, so at Twitter beef, first episode, how do we make him endearing? And I'm like, well, the old trope is like have him be nice to a kid. Okay, great. Is it his kids? Is it his assistant's nephew? Is it a Make-A-Wish kid? And they were like, what if he thinks it's a Make-A-Wish kid, but it's actually just his assistant's nephew? So that's how that came about. So that's kind of our way into storytelling, is like, how do we just kind of go left and make it a little bit weird?
That's really fun. It's so great, too, that Diplo's very willing to play with his own image. Did he ever come to you and say, hey, James, you can go dumber?
You know what, that was the thing. Well, I knew from having done a parody of myself on Don't Trust the Bee in Apartment 23 that you have to be completely willing. Yeah. And not just to do it, but just for it to be fun and good for the person. And so when I sat down with Wes, who's Diplo, the first thing that I realized that this guy does not take himself too seriously at all. He's allergic to it. Yeah. So his whole thing was, just make me look totally stupid.
Wow.
And I was like, well, we have to make it, we have to make him a likable character somewhat that you want to follow.
Right, he can't just be a villain.
But then even Vice was like, don't give him a moral victory at the end of the episode. I'm like, okay, so.
That's a rare note to get from a network, by the way.
I know. Usually it's like, how do we know that he's good at his job? But they're like, yeah, he can't win.
Wow.
All right.
That's got to be kind of liberating then, as a
it was
writer and a
great.
showrunner.
Yeah, it was challenging, and it was yeah, you just felt like you could really go with what the consensus in the room was.
That's kind of amazing. So
Yeah.
I mean, you mentioned Don't Trust the Bee in Apartment 23. Like, what is it about like playing with celebrity in this kind of meta space that really appeals to you?
Well, I mean, for me in the beginning, it was just trying to wrap my head around this weird phenomenon of fame that I had stepped into at age 20 and didn't really understand. So that was my sense of humor with my friends, just to keep sane initially.
Right.
And you can't really share with the world because at that time you just look like an ungrateful brat if you start making fun of it. And then enough time had passed that I thought, you know what, let's try comedy and let's mine this, because it was something that was available. And now it kind of seems, I think the social media aspect of it has made it so that everybody kind of has to do it to some degree.
It's weird, right?
It's weird. It's almost like expected now that people do it. But for me, it was just, it started as just a way to keep sane.
Yeah. And do you feel like that had made you a different type of actor, a different type of performer?
It opened up the comedy thing, for sure.
Yeah.
And what it also did for me, just on a personal level, is really just eradicated all those little precious instincts that one has to kind of like self-preservation and ego and all that stuff. I mean, once you're playing a fake version of yourself, going on a fake Dancing with the Stars, it's tough to see yourself too seriously after that. You know?
Right. You can't suddenly be like, no.
Yeah, you can't. I mean, it's so funny, like the kind of careers that I thought I would have, like throughout the years, like the really serious, film career, which almost kind of doesn't exist anymore. Of somebody who
it's not a model.
Just does. It's not.
You can't do it.
You can't. And so what's great is that I'm having so much more fun than I ever would have had in the career that I thought I wanted 15 years ago. You know?
That's crazy, man.
Yeah.
So at this point, because like Diplo is obviously a famous dude, but I feel like people don't necessarily know his face. Do people now think you're actually Diplo?
It's a really fun wad of clay to play with, because this guy is a musical genius, international superstar, and people don't really know him unless you follow him on social media. He's got a really smart social media imprint. But yeah, you can. Our goal was to kind of like make it so that if you liked his music before, you'd maybe like it even a little bit more after. But yeah, he's a juggernaut, man. It's I don't know how people are going to take it. I don't know how they're going to react to it. I know he seems to be embracing it, and he's an executive producer on the show.
Of course,
but he didn't micromanage at all. He just let us kind of run and gave us some really great music to put in the show. So we have origin stories, like fake origin stories for some of his songs.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we have a Lean On origin story,
Fantastic.
which takes place. It's a flashback to 2013.
Oh, so you got to do a little bit of period work.
Yeah, it's a period piece.
Of course,
It's
those halcyon days of 2013.
Exactly, 2013.
Simpler time.
It was really difficult to try to redress the set.
Yeah, all the cars are all wrong. It's a lot of details to get in that kind of thing, James.
Exactly.
It's a bold choice you made.
Well, I live to explore.
Absolutely. Tell me a little bit about the rest of the support cast. Like, how'd you go about casting the show?
That was a really fun process, because there are all these crazy characters, and it was so much fun to have this process of like, okay, we're gonna make this manager character, and he kind of goes from like locker room bro to like, guy full of wisdom, and he's crazy. And then we found Bobby Lee, who is just a force of nature, and he came in and made it his own. And we got Dylan Francis, who is a huge DJ in his own right.
Yeah.
Friends with Wes. But I saw what he was doing on Snapchat, and I was like, this guy's a really talented comedian. He's incredibly clever. He's a really good actor. And so we wrote this role for him where he plays this guy Jasper, who's like a hanger-on of Diplo, like a childhood best friend who you couldn't quite kick away with a really...
Diplo's turtle.
Yeah, he's basically, but this dude has like a lower IQ than any other functioning human. And Dylan plays him with so much charm and like bombasticness, and it was just great to like let these get, and Jamar Neighbors, who's a really dark, interesting comic, with these mixtapes.
Yeah.
He's in it as well. Dora Madison from Friday Night Lights.
Yeah.
She's a really great actress with great improv skills, great comedic timing. And then H. Michael Kroner, who I had worked with on Don't Trust the Bee. just came in and elevated everything that we wrote for him. He was like my scene saver.
Really?
Anytime, there were literally times where like, you know, what if we just put H in this scene? Like, okay. So we
just
did.
introducing.
And I felt like, I'll just write some placeholders for him, and he would take the placeholders and crush it, and then he would elevate other. I mean, the best thing about it was just the collaboration that we got to create.
Yeah, that's super cool.
You know, and the set and how Brandon Dermer, my director, and I were able to run it. It just encouraged the best ideas to come to the top, and that's so much fun. When somebody comes up with something in a script that you wrote, and they come up with something way better than what you could have written.
Yeah.
That's the goal.
That's super. Yeah, exactly.
That's like what I live for.
That's super cool, man. Yeah. So we're gonna get 6 episodes starting August 3rd.
Yeah, 5 episodes.
Yeah. Oh, 5. My apologies.
Oh, good.
Do you feel like you have even more stories to tell? Like, is this something that you could kind of keep revisiting?
Yeah, I mean, if everybody involved is down with it, I mean, a lot of moving. I mean, you know, Diplo is a huge entity.
He's a busy guy.
He makes a lot more money on his own than I do.
Don't say.
So, I mean, there's no part of him that needs this, but yeah, I mean, especially now that we've done the hard work of breaking the world and experimenting with tone and stories and finding what works, and then getting in the edit and seeing, ooh, we thought that was so important and it's not at all, and this thing, which was a throwaway, is like the cornerstone. So you just learn so much. So yeah, it would be a lot of fun to delve deeper into all these characters in this world.
That's super cool.
So we'll see. I mean, you know, but it kind of works as its own like little arc too. So
very exciting. And also, before I let you go, we're also going to see you in the Duplass Brothers series Room 104 on HBO.
Yeah.
What can you tell me about your appearance on Room 104? You are credited as Pizza Boy, which I find to be an interesting.
I'm not Pizza Boy.
Oh, are you not Pizza Boy? Was the episode called Pizza Boy?
Pizza Boy is the episode. Okay. Yeah, I am the guy who gets the pizza delivered to the hotel room.
The part you were born to play.
Exactly. You know, yeah. Room 104 is this crazy thing the Duplass brothers did, where they said, "All right, let's do a series that every episode takes place in one hotel room,
right? Like
this crappy little motel room off some highway somewhere, and everything else changes every episode. The writer, director, cast, storyline.
Fun.
The only thing in common is that all these weird stories have taken place in this room.
The one space.
One hotel room.
Neat, man. I look forward to that
so
as well.
It's dark, and it's every single episode, and that is completely different.
Fantastic.
It'll be on HBO in like a week or so.
Like a week or so, yeah. Well, look for What Would Diplo Do on Viceland. Yep. August 3rd.
Starting August 3rd, Thursdays at 10 p.m.
Boom. Thanks again to James Vanderbeek. And please stick around for more great Comic-Con coverage on Entertainment Weekly. I'm Kyle Anderson. We'll be right back.